continue to grow. Your father understand English or not?
Not really.
Not really. So,
But I can translate.
now you can tell him, then after a while he can take it from the tripod and it's digital.
It's digital.
Yeah, so and then he can go there and
Eben ein bisschen weit weg und dann ab und zu von verschiedenen Seiten und so, oder?
for a while when see not to concentrate, continue to go. Now we don't sit down. We continue to go, see not to concentrate, don't fix your eyes, let it go.
Vorher war er kaputt gewesen.
Yeah, we can from here, we can go there, we can.
Yeah. We have time.
Now we continue to go. If we get up, we don't really get up. Remember, we use the movement in the Alexander technique only in order to check, to control. If you react to a stimulus, if you continue to neutral, to inhibit the habitual reaction, the habitual conception in the brain, and allow the new conception, the new conditions to take place, it doesn't matter if you move or not, and you can. Now you realize what you did.
Yeah, begin to push with the legs.
Okay, it means you didn't inhibit you got up instead of not to get up and to let the head move, follow my hand and wait and don't concentrate, still don't concentrate. Don't try to be right because you'll be wrong. Instead have this active, creative, practical conception, the new conception to replace the habitual conception, active conception in the brain, and not to concentrate, not to try to be right. You know, concentration is a limited awareness confined to a certain subject, neglecting and ignoring the whole, the total. While what Alexander called conscious control and Krishnamurti called choiceless awareness, is a state of acute awareness, a total awareness, not limited.
So I can be aware of different things at the same time.
At the same time, it's as Alexander put it, all together and while all together, one after the other. But all together is to eagleize, to open. And what is eagleizing? Eagleizing is this inner state of floating, flying, opening, inside, not collapsing, spreading all over, growing, the whole time. But we can't hold it, we have to produce it.
And don't fix in one position.
Position anyhow is a fixed, something fixed, there is no flow. There are conditions, directions. And And by the way, what Alexander called directions, it's not neck free, head forward and up, back, lengthen and widen, or call it whatever you like. Directions are messages from the brain. You know, and the brain has to work blitz feedback. Very fast, not through the filter of the intellect, not analyzing.
Just decide and let it happen.
Yeah, and directions can be right or wrong. Directions are the messages from the brain that activate ourselves in any way. See, not to fix the eyes, not to concentrate, to be all over. And now we continue there. No effort. Allow and let it happen. Allow. We don't get up, we just follow. Let the brain work fast. Easy. We continue to grow, maybe we should get up, sit down, maybe not, it doesn't matter. We continue to allow the neck to be free and the head. Free, it means not stiff, not rigid, not blocked and not collapsed. This is the meaning when I say eagleizing, inner flow, space. Inner space, the whole time inner space, and continue inner space. Let head go up, you begin to sit down. There, and indeed, I have to produce it in myself. There. You know, the mistake in all schools, even in my time, was that they take for granted that they work on themselves and they work on the pupil. It took me time till I realized it as well, that I really don't work on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And now I know that in order I work on the pupil to improve myself. And if I improve myself, I can improve you, if you cooperate.
So Noam, what do you want?
Pardon?
You want
Next, the answer is Deutsche Schmaschke. So now I see it very, very clear. And for example, when McDonald said out and round, it means this growing opening.
Mm-hmm.
Still people do it with the hand, and it has to open from here, you see. The whole thing has to open, to spread, to grow. Not to manipulate, not to work with the hand. The hand convey what we have in our primary control, in the relationship between the head and the spine. Don't concentrate. You realize I speak with people during the lesson, I don't want them to concentrate, to be aware. Easy. Easy. Now you see you are confused.
Yeah, because I hold with the legs now.
Okay, so don't hold the legs. Grow with the body. Grow. Let the head loose. lead. Let it go. Let it go. Don't use the legs. Keep the back back. Let the head lead. Keep the head back. Leave it on the legs. Don't straighten the knees. You still straighten them. Let the head lead. No, the head. The head. Easy. Not to concentrate. You can think of whatever you like, you know.
But not to
When I
fix
work on
this.
people, my head can be very far away, but I'm still aware of us. It's like, that's what Krishnamurti calls to be the observer and the observed at the same time. It means this is really the total awareness. And it's very hard. It's very hard, I tell you. It's very hard. Now you see, what teachers do, they take you like this,
Up and
like
down,
this.
like gymnastics.
You see, you use your legs now. Now I didn't let you use your legs,
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't learn anything. This is the reason why I work slowly. You realize McDonald worked very fast.
Very fast, up and down, up and down.
So even if you got the back of people, you didn't learn anything. You just, you're flying. And then in your brain you have a wrong conception. You didn't bring me the CD of Alexander.
I will bring it on Thursday. Okay.
Okay. You saw it already?
Yes, it's very interesting to see how Alexander worked.
But you realize he didn't work fast.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. You know, after all these years, I have criticism. I learned a lot from McDonald. A lot. But I learned a lot what not to do as well.
This feels very good. When the shoulder goes out.
Look, your shoulders changed already. You changed, but you can never know how you were before.
Yeah.
Easy. Ping pong, huh?
But I don't realize any difference between the right and the left
I
shoulder.
know, because you are used to it. Beside, you know, playing the piano, the right hand works more normally, you know?
Mhm, yeah.
It's as well. Loose, you see here, it's blocked.
Mhm.
Opa, that's it. Decide that the hands have to go to fly from nowhere to nowhere.
Not land somewhere.
Not to see this or this. I don't know. Just come, and you see I don't put the hands. We used to say to put the hands on. To put the hands is wrong already. I never put the hands. You see, put is normally to lean on you. Or there are teachers, even McDonald, who say this handed. Once the Shmuel Nelken came from a refresher course in London. I see the whole time he does like this. I didn't understand why he look at the watch the whole time. And then he said, McDonald showed them that to put the hand here, you see, to enter here. Some teachers said to put this finger, small finger here. It's rubbish. I can put the hand here as well, you see. It doesn't matter where. If your back works, if the neck is free, the head goes forward and away in relation to the spine follows, and the back spreads all together, and the whole time out, 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 actively. The hands just convey if I'm contracted. And I showed you, if I contracted or people stand in the monkey position and they come, you see, there. I can be here, but I have to lose there.
Lose and let it come from the back.
There, and then it takes you back. You have to go again to the other school there.
Yes,
it will be interesting for you.
Yes,
because
I will call her.
Well, that's what I did when I went to Carrington and Barbara. I learned from the negative. I could compare to see, to realize. Okay, you want a bit of table?
Mm-hmm.
You see what you did?
Yes, I
No.
go like with the neck like this.
Now this goes there. Okay.
Directly to the table.
We can move to this side.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, on this video, beside McDonald, there are others as well.
McDonald, and beside whom?
I think Marjorie Barr stood there, Shaiki Hermelin,
Mm-hmm.
there are more there.
Mm-hmm. And the second one is McDonald, as you told me. The
McDonald in
second-
'66 and then in the '80s.
And he works on Moshe in '66.
Mainly, but at the beginning on Moshe, and then he worked with Zev, with Shmuel, and he worked there on one Nili, who became a teacher, and with, I think, with the wife of Shmuel, with Ora. I didn't want to participate after Moshe annoyed me.
But from Marjorie, you didn't have lessons.
Barstow?
Yeah.
I met her once here in Switzerland, and she was like smiling like a horse.
Mhm.
No, she.
I saw a video on YouTube from her when she gives a lesson
Violinist.
shortly before she died. Maybe she was 90 years old.
96. Yeah, she was a catastrophe. No, I worked with Marjorie Barlow,
Mm-hmm. Barlow.
and she was pulling, no back. And then Peter Ribot, who studied with me later on, he has a school in London, or his wife rather. He told me that one Irene Stewart, from the first course of Alexander,
Uh-huh.
in Scotland, she does the whispered ha differently. So I passed where she lived and I didn't realize it. Then when I was in Glasgow, I phoned her and I drove back 300 kilometers and came to, and I worked with her. She worked exactly like this Marjorie Barlow. She was very pleased with my work, but I was not pleased with her. No, look, Alexander was not a good pedagogue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame him much because he didn't have experience, that's all.
And he was a genius to discover this
That's no question.
whole thing.
No question. I tell you, each time I see again and again, and he didn't read books about any yoga, shmoga, anything. Just it came from conclusions that it came, you see. That he uses himself in a way that causes the hoarseness and loss of voice.
Mm-hmm. But,
And then he decided to see what it is, because the doctors couldn't tell him. But this he describes in the first chapter of The Use of the Self. But read it in English, and if you have questions, you can ask me.
But why is this that people developed like this, to use themselves not in a good way?
Look, in order to develop what is the way he developed, and he had his shortcomings very much indeed, you know, all kind of things. First, I think he had, in a way, inferiority complex. He liked important people to recognize him,
Mm-hmm.
and he used to dress, you know, very fashionable, with papillon and all this, and expensive suits. And as far as I understand, he smoked cigars.
Mm-hmm.
He had his weaknesses. And he was a pioneer. The big mistake was that when he opened the first training course, he already limited it to 3 years. It means it's end gaining already. Why 3 years? You know, luckily enough, I was 5 years in the class. Even when I was a teacher, I stayed there. And I watched a lot. For 2 years, every morning, watched the work of MacDonald in private lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And as I have good memory, I can recall, to see back, you know,
what you saw in this lesson.
how he worked, you see. And he didn't know how to explain really good. In the first lesson he didn't explain me anything. Just well. I had at the beginning 5 lessons from him, 2 from Scott, and at once was in the class as well. So after the second, third lesson, he asked me, have you been to Covent Garden, you know, botanic gardens, to see the blossom of the daffodil? Daffodil is like a tulip, yellow. And I thought, why? I came here to learn the Alexander technique and not...
you wanted to learn,
yeah,
not to look at the
I was
flowers.
serious, I came for it. But he saw that I concentrate. Instead of telling me, don't concentrate, you know, he began to talk with me. Years afterwards, I began to understand why he said it. And you see, there are teachers that the whole time explain, neck free, you know, or play with you. I suggest you watch again all kind of teachers there. And from this you learn, you begin to have the experience to see what is wrong. And then you inhibit the wrong, you don't do the wrong, that's it.
Who told you about the Alexander technique? That you can go to school to
I told you, I think it was some kind of healer, chiropractor or so, that I went to him after Feldenkrais. And one day he said to me, go to London to study Alexander technique. And I didn't know even what it is. So it's very strange, I tell you.
And even now you don't know what it is.
No, in principle I know the way and the process, I know. Theoretically, other people know it as well. But I have to know it to learn the whole time. It's a process of endless learning, not knowing. And if you know something, you use the knowing to continue the way, to make more steps.
Zit?
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Now we can put back the camera.
Yeah. So,